Hi guys, we are still talking fake handbags. However, this time we're talking unknowingly buying a fake handbag, being duped into buying one because you bought it pre-loved, you've bought it from a Facebook group, you've bought it from an online retailer. Let's discuss all of this because it's a huge, huge topic. So I am doing two videos based on fake handbags. Unknowingly buying a fake and knowingly buying a fake. So this video is all about unknowingly buying a fake handbag. So this is, you are trying to buy the real thing via pre-loved, however you buy the bag, and actually you find out that it is inauthentic. So this is a huge topic, a huge topic. Let's try and unravel all of it. Let's start with where and how you could end up with a fake handbag when trying to actually buy the real thing. It may be that you think, I've fallen out of love with this bag, I don't use it, I need the money, whatever the reasoning, I want to sell it and buy another one. So that is why the market is there, and that is amazing that the market is there, because what if you decide, oh, I really want to sell this bag. How do I sell it? How do I recoup some of the money that I've spent in order to then it not be a complete disastrous purchase? So I understand why the pre-love market is there. However, to prove that that bag is authentic, for me, is an absolute minefield. And I know some guys you will disagree with me on this. For you guys out there who love buying and selling on the pre-love market, I think it's amazing. It scares the hell out of me. It really does, because I do not understand how somebody can 100% know that that's authentic. The fakes now are so good that even somebody who feels they have a lot of experience in buying handbags, they could easily, yeah, trick you. They just could. Yes, you might have the receipt, you might have the box, you might have all of the good stuff. However, it doesn't take much, does it, in order to either fake those documents. I've got boxes. You only have to buy one thing and you've got a box and a bag and some ribbon. Or you can even buy boxes, bags, ribbons, dust bags, all the rest of it on eBay. You can. For a fiver, you can buy these things. I've seen it on Facebook groups. I've seen it on feeds on Facebook that comes round saying, does anybody have a box? I'll spend a fiver on it. And you think, you know, so, but yes, even if it has a receipt, for me, you could buy, if I was deciding to do this, I could be very clever and I could go and buy an LV Capucines. And yes, I'd have to outlay the money in order to buy the LV Capucines. However, once I've got that, the box, the dust bag, the receipt, I could actually return it. And I could buy the box and the receipt, sorry, the box and the dust bag on eBay for a fiver, and I've got my receipt. And yes, I might have returned it, but I've still got a copy of the receipt because I did actually buy it. Or I could have the real thing, keep it at home and actually have a real one. And again, you'd have to outlay the money for it, but then I could buy a fake one from God knows where. I don't know where people buy fake ones, but you could just go and buy what you know is a fake one, wherever, and then package it with your genuine articles because you actually did buy the bag. And you could sell it for the same price as you bought it, and actually then that's cost you nothing. Anyway, I know I'm very cynical. I know I'm very cynical, but I have heard so many horror stories that I am just not trusting of it. I'm just not. And then when we talk, so that was pre-loved, but then you talk about the new inbox, new not worn. So these are items that are bought from the store, allegedly, and somebody's trying to sell them immediately. So they think they can make a quick buck. So, for example, I go into Hermes, I've got a contact there, I'm able to source a Birkin 25. I walk out of the store and then I walk around the corner, find a reseller and say, how much will you give me for this? With all the stuff, I've literally just bought it 10 minutes ago. And I'm sure they do their due diligence as best they can, but surely mistakes can be made, that somebody can come into their store. I'm sure that they do everything they can in order to check the authenticity of these items as they actually come in. But how can they be 100% sure that somebody hasn't done what I've just said about this one, and buying the real thing and then buying a fake, and then you've got all the box and the set and everything? And I know they have in-house authenticators, but for me, the quality of the fakes now are so good. Surely some mistakes can be made, surely. And I know you guys can do your own due diligence. I know you could buy from a reseller, from a consignor, however you get these bags, whether they are pre-loved or new in box and all the rest of it. However you get these items, I know you can go and do your own due diligence. You can send, you can send them off for authentication to give you some peace of mind. And I understand that. But what I don't understand, and again, you guys, please explain it to me, because I don't understand how sending a few photos, I don't care if there's 15 photos, 30 photos of the item, if there is a really, really good fake, how can the authentication company know that that is genuine? You could send any photos to anything, couldn't you? And then get a certificate. You could, I don't know, if they don't even get hold of it and feel it and understand. For me, it's the feel of the leather and the hardware and everything. It doesn't come across, does it, on photos? So I don't understand how somebody can tell that something is fake or real via photos alone. I just don't. And again, I may be being very controversial here, I'm not sure. I just wouldn't trust it. I just wouldn't. So just a little story from my own experience of buying and selling. I've never bought a pre-loved or a new from store. I've never bought from a reseller. I'm just too scared to do it. It's not because I'm not a snob about it. I think it's, if you can get an item pre-loved that came out years ago that is no longer in production, or if you missed a certain season and you missed a certain thing, I think it's an amazing thing. And I also think it's amazing for people. There should be a market that if you decide to sell a bag, that you can recoup some money. I think absolutely it should be there. But the reason I don't buy it is because I'm too cynical about it, and I'm too risk averse with that type of thing. So it's nothing to do with not wanting a bag that's pre-loved. It's nothing to do with that. It's the risk behind it. However, I did look to sell a bag because I got in my head that I had too many bags and there was a certain bag that I wasn't using, and I tried to sell it. And of course, the whole point is that you put your own photos up on the site, and then people can ask you questions and everything else. You set your price, and then the bag, if it sells, you then send it, obviously in person. You send the bag, they get hold of it, and they have their own way of authenticating. So at least they've got hold of the bag and they're not looking at photos and giving certificates on something they've never seen. They then decide if it is authentic or not in their view, and then they send it on to the buyer, and then the buyer has an opportunity to reject it and everything else. Anyway, I never got that far with it because they would not accept my listing from the photos, because they said they couldn't, from the photos I sent and tried to upload, they could not be sure of the authenticity. And I bought it direct from store because I've never bought a pre-loved bag. So I know that it's real, but obviously they don't know me. So I'm, there's no point me feeling, I don't know, attacked because they don't know me. However, what more can I do than buy a bag from store? I have the receipt, I have the dust bag, I have the box, I have the shopping bag, I have the ribbon. Everything is there. I showed them photos of the serial number, the inside, every angle of everything I could possibly send. And bearing in mind, this is, if somebody did buy it, this would then go to their authentication department and they will get hold of it. So if I was lying and sent them a bag that wasn't real, even though the photos look good, for example, they would get hold of it and be like, no, we're not happy with this, and they'd send it back to me, and that would be the cancel of the sale. I never got that far. They just said no. So for me, somebody who I know I'm totally genuine, I couldn't sell my bag. They wouldn't accept it. They wouldn't accept it. So even when you try and do the right thing, it's rejected. Yet I've heard horror stories about, that it's gone through authentication and this, that, and the other. And anyway, it's all too much of a minefield for me. This is why I just would rather go to the store, to the brands themselves, and buy direct from the brand. And I know there's horror stories from the brands as well, where somebody's bought a genuine article from the brand, from the store, and then returned a fake, and it's got through the system. However, those must be so rare that it would be incredibly, incredibly rare to happen. So for me, I'm just sticking with the store. I like the store experience anyway. Anyway, I hope this hasn't been too controversial. I think it's terrible that anybody has been duped, and yeah, but my thing always is, do your own due diligence as much as you can. If you want to buy Preloved, buy it, but go into it with your eyes wide open. Make sure things are authenticated in the flesh as much as you can. I don't know, it's just a minefield to me. So yeah, I don't know. Let's start a discussion. Am I completely wrong? For me, if something appears to be a bargain, does that mean that if it appears to be too good to be true, that it actually is? I don't know. Anyway, I just would rather save up, have less items, and buy from store. I think I just would, unless there was an older item that I really wanted. I have actually got to saying all of that. I have actually got my eye on maybe thinking about one of the old black multicolour LV pieces. I would just love one of those. I really would. But yeah, I would need some help from my friends in order to source something like that, because yeah, I just don't trust anything. I'm just such a cynic, I really am. So if one of my friends had one of them and I knew they'd bought it direct from store, or they'd done their due diligence, and I, because I know them, I trust them, that's the only way I think I would end up buying one, is because I'm buying from somebody that I know and trust. So anyway, call me a hypocrite, or call me controversial, or call me a cynic, or call me a realist. I don't know. For me, I would rather just buy new from store. It is the safest way of being absolutely sure of what you're buying. Anyway, I'm not saying that industry shouldn't exist. I'm not saying that. I'm just too scared. So anyway, thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you on another one.